As the old saying goes, accidents happen, and with a process as complicated as filmmaking, it's no wonder that things can go wrong, especially when action scenes are involved. Whether it's due to negligence or just sheer bad luck, these are our 10 movie scenes gone horribly wrong in real life. Viggo Mortensen's toe break, The Lord of the Rings. Aragorn is kind of a badass. He is the mysterious ranger cloaked in a hood, smoking a pipe, who is revealed to be the reluctant king that we all learn to love. During that famous emotional scene where Aragorn looks at the carnage around him, kicks an orc's helmet and screams in rage, Viggo was actually screaming in agony. It turned out the helmet was heavier than expected and Viggo had broke his toe as he kicked it. This accident did succeed in making Aragorn seem even more in anguish though. Despite screaming out in pain, he stayed in character to create a great cinematic moment. However, unfortunately for Viggo Mortensen, this isn't the only time he had to prove that he was tough as nails on the set of Lord of the Rings. The knife toss, Lord of the Rings. Outside of nearly drowning, there was one moment during Fellowship when an actor playing Lurtz, the orc, misjudged their throw and hurled a real-life blade at Viggo Mortensen's face. Thankfully, Viggo was practiced enough with his sword in preparation for the role that he managed to actually parry the knife away in real life. It's a real testament to his ability as an actor, as well as all those scenes made it into the final film as they were simply the best takes. The moral of the story is, if you want some great takes to come out of movies, make sure your actors rely on sheer impulse. Actually, that sounds kind of dangerous. Christian Bale beating on Heath Ledger, The Dark Knight. There are many stories of Heath Ledger's perfectionist approach to playing the Joker. We could literally talk for hours about all the nuances and moments of great improvisation that went into the role. While it's commonly believed that he stayed in character between takes, this is a proven myth. Heath made up for it, however, by ordering Christian Bale to actually hit him during the famous interrogation scene. So a lot of those shots you see Heath taking are absolutely real and coming from a 210-pound angry Welshman. It has to make you wonder how Bale felt the whole time as Heath Ledger laughed maniacally after eating his punches. Though, it made for one of the most iconic scenes in film history. So thank you, Heath Ledger, for a great performance. Isla Fishers' near-death experience, Now You See Me. The opening shot of Now You See Me is also one of the most infamous. This is because it nearly killed Isla Fisher when she was actually stuck in her chains and tank. It wouldn't have been too bad a problem were it not for the fact that she was unable to reach the safety switch that would have emptied out the water in 70 seconds. Being trapped and not able to reach the safety switch naturally caused Fisher to panic. She freed herself, which is lucky considering that everyone on set thought that she was acting really well. On the upside, at least the piranhas were CG. Let's just hope there aren't any other magic tricks going wrong in the sequel. The last thing we need is someone accidentally sawed in half. Dolph Lundgren hospitalizes Sylvester Stallone. Rocky IV. Rocky IV is perhaps the most over-the-top of all the Rocky films. It has the best montages, the highest stakes, and ends with Rocky ending the Cold War. Everybody can change! It also features one of the most iconic movie antagonists of all time, with Dolph Lundgren playing Ivan Drago.
I must break you.
Sylvester Stallone, who is known for being pretty competitive anyways, requested that Lundgren actually hit him during the filming. This was a bad idea, as not only was Lundgren 6'5" and well over 200 pounds, but he was also a black belt and world champion in Kyokushin, a martial arts style known for its body shots. Stallone took a punch to the solar plex and ended up in the hospital soon after. Despite Stallone saying that the punch felt like a car crash, he certainly didn't learn from his lesson. On the set of Rocky Balboa, the 60-something actor again asked for real-life boxer Antonio Tarver to actually hit him. One thing is for sure, we know that former co-star Mr. T would definitely consider him a crazy fool. The helicopter crash, The Twilight Zone. While some of the previous entries in the list have been amusing, this one is a downright tragedy. While filming John Landis' section for the anthology film The Twilight Zone, there was a severe mishap. An air mortar blast hit the tail of the helicopter, flipping it into the air and causing the rotor to detach from the tail. Actor Vic Morrow reached out in an attempt to rescue one of the two children doing the scene with him. Unfortunately, Vic and one child were decapitated by the rotor of the chopper, and the second child was crushed under the chopper itself. The accidents and the resulting lawsuits still haunt John Landis to this very day, as many of the crew believe the accident was due to negligence on his part. Not only that, but Dick Peabody wrote that Morrow's last words before doing the scene were lamenting he hadn't asked for a body double. Margaret Hamilton nearly burned to death. The Wizard of Oz. The Wicked Witch of the West is one of the most iconic movie villains of all time, with one of the best uses of alliteration in her name, ever. While we remember her cackle, her obsession with getting Dorothy and Toto, and of course flying on a broomstick, and being melted by water, none of these were quite as troubling to the actress as her first disappearing act. When the Wicked Witch makes her first exit, we see her vanish in a puff of red smoke and fire. This was a pretty cool practical effect, and a great way of using magic and illusions to pull something off on camera that previously couldn't be done. While nowadays it probably would have been done in CGI, Back then, they had to use some pyrotechnics. Unfortunately, this meant that the actress Margaret Hamilton suffered some pretty significant burns. Ouch! Harrison Ford nearly killed. Star Wars: The Force Awakens. While Harrison Ford comes across in interviews as a man who yearns for death, we certainly don't want it to happen. Which is why so many people were outraged when it was revealed that the production company, Foodles Production, were so negligent that it led to Ford actually getting crushed under the Millennium Falcon door. This resulted in both a broken leg and other several injuries that could have been life-threatening to a man of Ford's age, with some stating that the only reason it didn't kill him is because of the emergency door stop. Foodles pled guilty to 2 breaches under health and safety law. J.J. Abrams did say, however, that despite nearly being killed, Harrison Ford returned with real fire in his eyes, ready to perform after being patched up. Brandon Lee's death, The Crow. Perhaps the most famous example of an actor dying on screen comes from The Crow. The 1994 comic book movie was the last movie that Brandon Lee ever appeared in after he was shot on set. In one of the most bizarre accidents ever, the gun used for the movie had the bullets removed and replaced with blanks so it could be fired safely. However, due to poor safety checks, no one noticed that there was an actual bullet jammed in the barrel of the gun used to shoot at Lee. This meant that the blank then fired and hit the real bullet that went into Brandon Lee. Most eerie of all was this accident is very similar to the scene in the Bruce Lee, Brandon Lee's father, movie Game of Death. That and the fact that Brandon Lee's performance as Eric Draven was said to be the influence for Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker. And both actors died suddenly by accident at the age of 28. That's all we got time for today. Are there any moments that we missed out? Leave us a comment and let us know. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and check out the rest of our channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to CBR for cool vids about movies, action heroes, gaming, comics, and more.